Like any organization, the NRA is defined by what people think about it. As a gun owner, you think about it as the great protector of our Second Amendment rights and all the things that they do to promote gun safety and, again, to protect those liberties that we so enjoy as Americans. But on the other side of the coin, if you're fearful of guns, if you think that gun control is the answer to get the guns out of the hands of the people, then the NRA seems like some kind of giant corporate conglomerate that is supported by special interest groups, and a lot of money's being put in so they can make massive profits. One of the big things that I learned about the NRA this weekend in Houston at their annual meeting is that I had no idea really what the NRA was all about until I saw it in action. I've been an NRA member for years, and I've loved their magazines. I love what they do in Washington. Have I always agreed? Not necessarily. But the NRA is the largest organization for the Second Amendment. Yes, there are other great organizations out there, and as I've said many times before, you need to support those other organizations because they have their own specialties. But the one thing the NRA does, and especially at their meetings, is that you really find out the heart and the soul of America at the NRA. Yes, the NRA will protect your AR-15, but they'll also protect your single-shot .22. They are for hunting, they're for competitive shooting, they're also for self-defense. There were 87,000 people at the NRA meeting on Saturday. That's not including the ones that came only on Friday and the ones that came only on Saturday. So I would say that at least 100,000 people were in attendance there at the NRA meeting. And man, was it packed.
Has power for good or evil, depending on whose hands that gun is in. It is merely a reflection.
But one of the things that we all need to understand is that your dues of $35, and if you get a special deal, you can a lot of times join the NRA for $25. That does not support the activities of the NRA. That puts you in good standing as a member. You do get a magazine. You get some special benefits from the NRA just by joining. And it does give us a larger voice. But where the real action comes in is giving above and beyond. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, after this weekend, I am committed even stronger to what the NRA is doing, and I think we all need to get behind it. Now, there were a lot of celebrities there at the meeting.
And have allowed the oppressed to rise up and stand against tyranny over and over and over again.
Whether it was Oliver North, Sarah Palin, whether it was Willie and Cy Robertson. Now, there were a ton of different seminars that were being held, whether it was self-defense, whether it was hunting, just anything you can imagine. There were things going on all day long, but the big rallies were really what got things going. Yes, they had business to tend to. You can vote on what the NRA does. You can vote on its membership and its board. So these people aren't just big corporate figureheads. These guys are real, and they have a real love for the Second Amendment, and they are fighting hard. In fact, they are seriously under attack, not only politically, but also from the media and from many other hate groups. Now, one of the great benefits of being an NRA member is to receive one of their 3 magazines they publish. I like the American Rifleman because it specifically speaks to the things that I like and I enjoy, which is guns, gear, and different things. But what's really great about this magazine, it gives you a lot of information about the NRA. You're getting information from a lot of the board members on the NRA. And one of the things that I learned this past week, which really surprised me at how low the percentage was. Because after hearing Obama and you hear the media talking about that the NRA is backed and given tons of money from special interest groups, from the firearms industry, to find out that only 4% of the funds donated to the NRA come from the shooting industry. The rest come from private individuals, people that believe in the Second Amendment. That honestly makes me angry. You can't tell me that the White House and our media doesn't realize that only 4% come from the gun industry, yet they use that to go against us. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, this will dispel the lies, and that's exactly what's coming out of Washington. We've got to stand firm. We've got to stand on the truth. And if you are part of the NRA, you need to get behind it, whether it's your local chapters, whether it's the media, whether it's the national meeting that's going to be coming up next year in April, and it'll be in Indianapolis. I will be there. A lot of other people will be there, being strong. But one of the big things about the meeting, guys, and I'm going to tell you, is the people. And you're able to see, you know what, I'm not just a solid NRA member at home. I'm getting my magazine. I may be going to a few events that are NRA sponsored. But you get around the heart of the NRA. But when you are in the meetings, when you're at the rallies, and you're hearing the speakers speak with the conviction that they have, you know that it's genuine. And we have a fight for our lives, guys, and we have got to get behind the NRA. Again, Gun Owners of America, the National Gun Rights Association, whatever it is that you want to be a part of, that's fine. But you're not going to find a better organization than the NRA to get behind and to support, not only with your actions and your mouth, but also with your pocketbook. We spend thousands on guns, on gear, on ammunition, on all these things, and we enjoy the Second Amendment. We should definitely be willing to give some of that money to protect those Second Amendment rights. As I've said in my earlier video, your rights are individual. You are individually given those rights by God. But to protect them, we've got to do it collectively. And there's not a better way to protect your rights collectively than the NRA. I want to give you a special thanks to Meg Gougon, who took us this weekend and really gave us a taste of what the NRA meeting was all about. It wouldn't have been the same without her being there. But we were there with a lot of the inside meetings, seeing what was behind the scenes. And I'm going to tell you what, a lot of times you can go to things like that and you can be disillusioned. You can think, you know what, this really wasn't what I thought. I'm going to tell you, after being there this weekend, it was everything I dreamed of and more. What the NRA is doing is fantastic, and it's worthy for us to get behind and to support. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.
Version of the grant printed by the U.S. government. It has a warning. Pay attention to these people.
Let me be perfectly clear. They're going to do everything to take your guns. We've got to stand. We've got to fight.